Hey, it's Brad Chastain with Bugbusters Pest Control here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Today we're going to be looking at how to install a foundation vent. So let's get started. We're looking at vent spacing. A center block is about 16 inches, and so we want to make sure that we get our vent the best we can in the middle of the block. So we've got a mortar joint that we can see here, so that's a block, and so right here we're at the center of the block. This block right here is what we want to take out. We're going to take out each one of these bricks here, and we're going to want to start in the middle because we don't want any mortar cracking that we don't want to be taking out. So we're going to take that out and then work our way to the edges. And we want to score this with a grinder to try to leave this mortar joint in. And the same on this side. We want to leave both of those mortar joints in, and then we can adjust as necessary. But as we pop these blocks out, then we'll need to knock out the block on the other side behind this brick veneer. And so we'll have that, and then also down here we've measured out, counted 16 over each time up to where we're figuring where the other block, where we'll be right in the middle of another block here. So I've already got our bricks marked that we're going to be taking out, and we'll do the same thing there. And just to kind of give you an idea of what we're doing, we've already done a couple here, and that is what we're putting in. And so that's what our goal is right here, to get some ventilation in this crawl space. Some things that we might need: drill, angle grinder, definitely your safety stuff, safety glasses, dust mask, earplugs. The angle grinder, it's got a masonry blade on it. And then this is also like an adjuster here. I don't know the exact term for it, but it'll slow the grinder down so that we can control it better. We've got hammer, chisel, a long masonry drill bit to use. The temp vent here, it's got this coil mechanism in it. That is, it will change as the temperature fluctuates. The vents will automatically open and close. This particular style of temp vent has a removable frame, so that's helpful in getting a vent into tight spaces like that we're dealing with here, where it's directly onto the ground and going up under the siding. So here I have already, I've used the drill to drill out the mortar joint. And now before we start hammering away to try to get this brick out, we want to score these edges. Because like I said, we definitely don't want to crack the mortar until we're ready to remove it if needed. So I've taken a couple of still shots, wasn't able to hold the camera and do all this work as I was doing by myself. But so we've got that there. I have scored the brick mortar on the edges, and then I have hammered out and removed the first brick, and then we need to remove the other brick there. So now I've got all the brick out. I've knocked some of the block out, used the angle grinder again to score the center block in the back, and so I will go in the crawl space, and I've drilled a hole right there, if you can see it, all the way in the back, so that way I'll know where I'm at in the crawl space once I'm in there, so I'm taking out the right other side of the block here. The temp vent comes with these tension clips. You put a few in, just depending on how many you need, where it's tight. It's kind of have to play with it a little bit to get it to fit right. But that's pretty much what you're looking like once you get that in and the frame back on it and around it. Now I do use these lathe screws. They're just real small screws, got a big head on them, and I put them in the side of the temp vent trim there. That way that the trim won't pop back off, and you have to fool around with it. It just makes it a little bit more stable. So there's our finished vent, and there's the other one that we put in there, both on that side. We've got some ventilation in this crawl space here, got it all the way around. This particular house definitely needed it, as moisture issues were starting to appear after several years. The home was built about almost 20 years ago, I believe, and the crawl space did not have any poly down on the crawl space ground there, so it definitely had some moisture issues. The gutters, the downspouts there were not draining water away from the house. I've talked with the homeowner about that, about getting water away from it. That'll help dry out the crawl space. The poly will help dry out the crawl space, and then getting this ventilation in for cross ventilation is definitely going to help this crawl space here. So anyway, that is how you install some temp vents. That, like I said, the temp vent will open and close as temperatures go. So it's a huge advantage over just your standard builder grade foundation vent. As you know, if in Tennessee here we have cold nights, and then we'll have a 60-degree day. So you're getting that ventilation during the day that you need, and it's closing up and saving it from getting the crawl space too cold, which can trickle into the house as well. So definitely helps having a temp vent in. It's pretty much maintenance free. That coil mechanism, as it expands and contracts, will automatically open and close those louvers. So again, sorry I couldn't show complete video as far as hammering out, but it is definitely labor intensive. So, you know, I'd say each one of these foundation vents were probably about an hour and a half a piece to do these. In this particular home, the whole back section of this house, they just had never put in the temp vents on the or any vents for that matter on the back side. So we ended up having to put in 8 vents along the back side, 2 on this side, 2 on the other side here, and then there was a sunroom that also needed a total of 4 in it to get some ventilation and stuff going on. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and again, this is Brad Chastain. I work for Bug Busters here in Chattanooga, and we do vent work, we do poly, we do exclusion work, a lot of different things. So thank you much. And please comment any questions that you might have. I will see if I can answer them, and any thoughts you have on this. And again, thanks for watching and listening.